What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back for another preview. It feels like we're playing European football, that we are doing match reactions preview actually day after day after day, but we're not. We're not in Europe. It's the first midweek game. It comes early because of the Euro qualifiers. That's why it's a kind of an early mid-season midweek game. But we play the first game of match day 6 in Serie A. We play Lecce tomorrow. I'm not gonna take long on this preview because first of all, I don't want to repeat myself because it's just been me on the channel the last couple of days. So I don't want to keep repeating myself in terms of what I think about the situation. But we need to preview a game that we need to win. Obviously, I think that's that's very very obvious. But it's not a given. It's not a given that we're gonna win because of the situation we're in now. Because of the game we had on Saturday, excuse me, and the type of game we had mentally wise. That's a big issue here. But you need to pick yourself up, I guess, and go again at home in a very quiet stadium. That's it. What's gonna be? Excuse me. I will say that this now. It's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be easy tomorrow because going off that game, obviously, because that's the proof you have out there. But going off the post game comments of the players of Allegri and going off his presser tells me they don't really get it. It's a lot of excuses. It's a lot of buzzwords. It's a lot of the same things, but you don't get the feeling that they really understand what the situation is, nor do they understand what the problems are with the squad, or what they're putting out there. It doesn't feel like they grasp the importance of the situation. It feels like they have absolutely no clue what the situation is actually about. That's the feeling I'm having at this moment in time. I'm not really going like quote for quote over Allegri's presser because he said some things that got me rattled a bit. So I made a video about that will drop tomorrow, and it didn't really have much to do with the preview, so I'm gonna skip that part. He talked about Lecce, obviously, because they are they second in the league, third in the league. I think they won 3 and draw 2. I think it is, and they are that team. They're still unbeaten. Same with Inter. They didn't lose. They won against Lazio and they didn't lose away to Fiorentina. So credit to them. And then they beat, is it Monza, or they drew against Monza? They won against Salernitana and they drew against Salernitana and they won against Genoa. One of those things. So they did well the first 2 games, and then they faced relegation side or like close to those type of teams, but they got the points. So credit to them. They're gonna stay in Serie A because the start they have, you cannot mess that up. So credit to them. I've not watched a single minute of Lecce. I'm gonna be completely honest, or I cannot recall watching anything about from Lecce today. I looked up their squad. I know Rafia, and there it stops. So I don't want to be disrespectful because they've had a better start to the season to us. They do, and they played kind of the same competition level of teams as we did, and they did better than us. So I don't want to be disrespectful, but I don't want to hear anything. You need to beat Lecce at home, like you should have beaten Bologna at home, like you should have beaten Sassuolo. And again, you can lose games, you can drop points, but we're not in a situation that's where it's allowed. Not now. Like it's not allowed. So, like the task ahead is extremely obvious and simple. You need to beat Lecce at home. You need to beat Lecce at home. Are we gonna beat them? Who knows? Like at this point, we can play Parma at home in the Coppa Italia, and I will be sitting here and be like, I'm not sure we're gonna beat them because I'm not sure which Juve side is gonna turn up. Is it gonna be first half with Udinese? Is it gonna be Lazio? Is it gonna be Sassuolo? Is it gonna be Empoli, where it's in between. We don't know which team is gonna show up, and that's, besides being very strange, it's a big concern. And the issue I have with it is that when I read or when I watch Allegri's pressers, it's all buzzwords. It's all point A. Like A is a question, but he will talk about B, C, D, E, F, and at the end of the presser, you're like, what was the answer on question A, basically? Because he's basically dancing around the situation this at this moment in time without saying, you know what, this is what I can do, or this is what we're trying to do. And if you're not saying that, that's also fine, but show that on the pitch. Also, nothing to show for. In 3 years time, if I tell you, if I ask you what has changed since he took over 3 years ago compared to now on the pitch, can you tell me one big difference that you're like, that's completely different compared to that, compared to match day 1 3 years ago compared to now? That completely changed. It's nothing. Like, nothing has changed this far, and that's a big worrying sign. On top of that, tell me if I'm wrong, but in those 3 years now, has he once come out and said, it's on me? Like, this is on me. He doesn't blame himself. He doesn't blame the players, which I'm fine with. Openly, publicly, I get that. But he doesn't blame himself. He doesn't talk about real issues. You know, he says, like, when you say, oh, it's a mental issue, what does that even mean, you know, as a coach? Because I think that's a very big word to use in the sport to cover up 1,000 things. It's a mental issue that we, you know, got dunked on by Sassuolo. But what is the real issue? That he doesn't want to say. Because if you speak about players and all those things, he always has an excuse ready. When you think you have the answer, he turns around and plays the same 11. You're like, those guys didn't get the job done. What makes you think that these guys who you picked last week and failed are going to do the job again? So it's very confusing with him at this moment in time. I don't like his pressers because it's very blame shifting, blame deflecting, whatever you want to call it. It's big picture, you know, and the big picture is we're not good, but he never says why these things are not going. He's always lowering. It's lowering the standards every single week, because I'm gonna look it up, because I don't think people believe me. After we lost at home against Napoli, he came on Sky Sport Italia and he said next season will be different. Excuse me, still sick. He said next season, so this season, will be different, because this team, I believe in, they have enough quality, they will improve, they will do better, blah blah blah, all those things. They will have an extra year under their belt, and we will be in a better position, we will compete, we will push. And now he's saying, man, it's a miracle if we get the 4th place, because other teams, wow, they're amazing. And I'm like, you're a hypocrite, you know, because you see it's not going your way and you're lowering the standards. On top of that, have you watched Napoli and Milan play this season? Because if you did, you're not going to say these things. You're just not. It's setting up the expectation so low that at the end of the season, if we get top 4, he's like, I told you, this is what we are, this is what we're going to be, and voila, we made it, basically. Top 4 goal is set. Excuse me. Top 4 is not a goal sporting wise. Top 4 is a goal financially wise, and it's a bare minimum. It's you're gonna make top 4 and that's it. We move on. But you cannot say certain things and then turn around and be like, now I'm gonna change my opinion completely and I'm gonna lower the standards. Forget about what I said last season. This is it now. Again, excuse me. So it's very frustrating at this moment in time, but we need to deal with it. We need to deal with it, and we need to face Lecce on a midweek with very low confidence. So again, I've said it. I'm not gonna keep you up very long, everybody, because my voice is not good. And I think I can see it at the numbers on the page that the interest is shifting, because when we have a good performance, and I'm just basing this on numbers, the numbers on this account are up. Like the views are up, engagement, everybody's excited. When we have bad performances, the numbers are out. They're very low, and I understand, because before I did this channel, I watched different things, different sports channel, and if my team didn't do well, I'm like, I don't want to hear about it, you know? Maybe the first couple of times, but if it's the same thing over and over again, I'm like, I'm done. You know, I have better things to do. I've watched it. It's already bad enough, you know? So I would love, I would love to come on and be super excited and be positive and whatever. But there's no chance to do that at all. Because the moment you are like, I'm going to be excited, they turn around and be like, no, you're not. You're just going to be like last season, very down, very depressed, very all over the place. And that's what they showed against Lazio. That's what they do. Tomorrow we will lose more points. I will go into my match prediction. 4 plays a miracle spot for an ambitious Allegri. It's a miracle. Oh, like that. Yeah. I hear Vlahovic is out as well as Keane. I will get into that as well. Actually, let's get into the lineup, because I don't want to waste too much time. Because I can see the interest is extremely low, and I fully understand that. Because why wouldn't it? Let me get the starting 11 out, or the rumored starting 11 out. So no changes, and no surprise that, why is it not working? That Chesney is going to start. I've seen a lot of people say, oh, play Perin, blah, blah, blah. I think if Chesney had a good game against, if he had a good game against Sassuolo, he would have started Perin. I'm so convinced about it. But it's the fact that he's getting a lot of criticism, and he wants to be like, no, now I'm not going to do it, and I'm going to play Chesney because he's my number one, and I'm going to back him, you know? And you can say that's a good thing, whatever. Chesney is going to play. Next one up is, that's not going to change. It's Bremer. He's going to play. And thing that might shock you and might be very controversial. I forgot Rugani on this list. Why is Rugani gone? I actually forgot Rugani to put Rugani on the list. Okay, so I forgot Rugani to put Rugani on the list, but Rugani is gonna play, or like he is rumored to play. So that's my bad. That I'm really unprepared today. But Rugani is gonna play. He's gonna start, and people might say, "Why I have Rugani? Where is it? I don't see it in the list." Now you're right, but I don't see it on the list. I don't see it on the list. Oh, I know why. Man, I'm all over the place. So Rugani's gonna play. Thanks for that. Rugani is gonna start, apparently, and I think it's a very controversial thing, because now people are gonna be like, "Oh, it's because Gatti had a bad performance. Oh, it doesn't give him a chance to redeem himself." I think both things are true. But I think it was planned that some players were going to get subbed anyway. And I think it's very convenient for Allegri to be like, well, it's going to be you, Gatti, because Allegri can come out and say, you know what, it happens, blah, blah, blah. Gatti had a disaster performance, so did Chesney. But with Chesney, he was asked so many times about, play Perin, play this. And he's being very stubborn now. He's like, no, Chesney's going to play. With Rugani and with Gatti, I think it's very convenient that, you know what, we needed to rotate. He was terrible, so Rugani comes in. Do I trust Rugani? Absolutely not. You know, it is what it is. But Rugani is rumored to play. I stopped watching your channel when the season ended because Juve News was in full crisis mode and it was just depressing. Back in full force now. Thanks. And again, I don't blame anyone because I've seen a lot of people not comment for like 2 months and texting me, you know what, still watching some of the videos but not like joining in lives. I get that. It's tough. It's not fun. And to be honest, I would have done the same thing, you know, but if you're still here, thanks anyway. Let's move on to things that are unchanged. That's not correct. It's obviously Locatelli that's gonna play because Locatelli and Rabiot, you can pin them in every single week, you know. And the rumored one, and that's why I'm really shocked, and I don't believe it's gonna be the thing. Case is Miretti is rumored to play. I don't believe that. I think Fagioli is gonna play. I think Fagioli deserves to get that start. I don't like how he's using the Miretti situation, subbing him off while others are playing worse at halftime. I don't like that. You know, at least let him play throughout the second half a bit. I'm not a fan of that, but he played every single week. I think it's up to Fagioli, and I will be sitting here and be like, "Oh, bench Rabiot." That's not gonna happen. This will be a very pointless preview discussion to have. That will be a very good thing to talk about during a regular live or a podcast. But me sitting here and debate that, you know, drop Rabiot or Locatelli is pointless because he's not gonna drop them. So that's what the rumors are. This one I'm surprised, not because he doesn't deserve to play, because he does, but the rumor is that McKennie is going to start again. I'm again not sure why he was subbed off, and the rumor is that Cambiasso is going to be in the team, which is a little bit of a surprise. I wasn't expecting that. If somebody was going to play, I thought it was going to be Junior. That was just a gut feeling, but it's Cambiasso. He hasn't played the last 2 weeks. Not sure what that was all about. I don't get it because he wasn't on international break. He was with the team. I'm actually shocked that he hasn't played 2 games, but here he is. Cambiasso is rumored to start. And to come up with the question, does Vlahovic have an issue? He does. Apparently, he has an issue, but it's just precaution. You know, back issue. He had that back issue going into the Sassuolo game, and he started. So I think it's just rotation. I'm surprised that it's Vlahovic that's being benched or getting rested and not Chiesa because of the situation, you know, injuries, all those things. So Chiesa Milik, because Keane also has an issue and he's probably not going to make the squad by the latest rumors. So it's Milik and Chiesa up top. That's a pretty clear lineup. Again, the issue at this moment in time, I have more issues with, not even with the lineup, but with the approach and which Juve side are we going to get? Are we going to get an aggressive one? Are we going to get a very sloppy one? Are we going to get the Sassuolo one, which I don't even have words for? Are we going to get the Empoli one where it's in between? Or are we going to get the Bologna one where you play terrible for 45 minutes and then somehow play decent enough in the second half? I don't know. And it has nothing to do with who plays because we've played the same 11 and we have different outcomes. So it's all about approach. It's all about the idea behind what we're trying to do. And I don't know. Like, I want to come on and know what we're going to do. Like, Man City, they know what they're going to do. Liverpool, even Inter, even Milan to an extent. They know what they're going to do. I don't know what we're trying to do. I don't think anyone knows. I don't think even the players know. I think that's the one of the issues. But it's so bad that we are sitting here and we're like, what's gonna happen tomorrow when we play Lecce at home? Like, I don't want to be disrespectful, but come on, like that's not what we should be doing in year 3. You know, we shouldn't. Everyone's getting injured, but getting big fat paycheck. Yeah, that's the situation. Again, I've said I'm not going to keep you long. My voice is also gone. So my prediction, for tomorrow is we're going to win 2-1. It's going to be an extremely ugly game. It's gonna be scraping 2-1. It's gonna be one of those games where you're like, I'll take the win, but whatever, because if we don't win tomorrow, like let's say worst case scenario we lose, like imagine we lose tomorrow and would have lost match day 6. You would have lost against Lecce, Sassuolo, and drop points at home against Bologna. At what point then is the club gonna be like, yeah, now it's enough, not enough, 9 million, whatever. This is just insane. Like this cannot go on. I don't want to think about that scenario because one, I don't want to lose, and two, the club will not think like that. So that's why I'm going 2-1. It's more based on hope than belief. I'm gonna 2-1, scrape you one. I'm gonna say um, Chiesa is gonna get that goal, and probably Bremer or Rugani, one of the defenders, on set piece. So that's my prediction. Hopefully, it will be an amazing performance because that's something to hold on to until Sunday evening. We play Atalanta away from home. But that's it for me. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks everybody who's gonna rewatch that. Excuse me. Join me tomorrow for the match reaction. Wednesday for the breakdown of the game, and Thursday when I will drop a podcast because I'm gonna record a podcast with Julian on Wednesday this time because we play on Tuesday. Thanks for watching. See you guys tomorrow.